Welcome to 411carline.com. You can find us at 411carline.com. You can view the free Carfax available there at 411carline.com. You can set up an appointment on our website or by calling 952-540-9000. Of course, you can email or call to ask any questions as well. So, another 4Runner at 411carline. We buy a ton of 4Runners and Toyota products in general. In my opinion, one of the most reliable brands on the road. Honda or Toyota, can't go wrong. Acura, Lexus. Of course, there are a lot of other good vehicles and stuff, but yeah, we buy a ton of these. 4Runners of this generation are particularly sought after in comparison to the next generation. I think just based on styling as well as reliability. We run them through local shops, have them inspected prior to putting them up for sale. This one, as you can see, is a Sport. With a Sport, you usually get the hood scoop. It's got a moonroof, roof rack, the rear spoiler. These wheels generally come on the Sport. And then you also generally get some other features such as power seats and that sort of thing. So this one, it looks like it has like a leveling kit on it, probably maybe a 2 or 3 inch. It's the perfect height. It's got a slightly oversized tire. I personally drove this out to Cokato, up to Brainerd, back, and then up to Brainerd and back, so I put about 600 miles on it between last Thursday and today. And out of all of our 4Runners we've had, this one's been my favorite. I just love the style, the color, and then the Sport, of course, with the hood scoop and the lift. I'm a Jeep guy, but this definitely, I'm slowly converting. I think someday I might have to have a 4Runner instead of a Cherokee. So, anyways, tires are Mastercraft Coursers, all-terrains. They're in excellent condition. I haven't measured the tread depth, but they look to be about 75% or better. Left, the wheels are actually in relatively good condition. Usually these get a lot of flaking. They have a very small amount, but yeah, there's no, usually they'll be completely flaking off. This one, there's just like a very little bit of, I don't know what you would even call that, delamination maybe, something like that. So clear coat's still pretty good on them though. And you can see the tire tread depth. I mean, this is my finger. I mean, they're almost new actually, so. It does have the running boards, and of course the hood scoop. Someone blacked out the grill and the hood scoop there, which kind of makes it look unique. And moonroof, it's got the roof rack. I think the Sport roof rack is a little different too. It's the rounded one versus the ones with the kind of square rails. So interior's in pretty good condition. I haven't sent the seat-through recon yet. I do have to have the seat taken care of there, but other than that, I mean, the cloth and plastics and everything. The dash doesn't have any cracking, which is pretty common of 4Runners of this generation, and it didn't spot any. Start it up here. This one has 133,815. I think it came in with about 133,200 or something, and then I started driving it. Just happened to come off the truck, and I needed to go a couple places. So we like to drive all of our vehicles, make sure they're good to go, even though they're inspected. You can find out a lot about driving a vehicle for a few days. So turn this back on here. So everything works. I did use the aux port while I was driving. This one does not have Bluetooth. It'd be a little pre-Bluetooth. It does have the, oh, nice. Didn't even know these were in there. It has remote start. I saw the thing up there, but looks like it has the remotes here, so we'll have to play with those and see if we can get those to work. But this one does have the factory manuals there. Has automatic climate control, which is kind of nice. You just set the temp. You can see over here, up temp, which is right there. Outside temp is there. I usually just find a temp that I like and then hit auto, and then it stays there. I always know when Aaron, my brother, was driving it because he likes to use the fan. I use the auto. It's kind of personal preference. So it is 4-wheel drive, keyless entry, does work. Again, it's got an aux port in here. All the plastics and everything, even like the shifter handle, it's pretty clean. Usually you get some wear on this plastic. Looks like it's been pretty well cared for. It does have cruise control, fog lamps, power windows, power locks, locking transfer case there. Yeah, I'll take a walk around the back here. So, moonroof. I never use these when I'm driving, so better check to make sure it works. Works as it should. Oop. Yep, let her close. Yep, works as it should. I'm just not a huge person on moonroofs. It's cool to have it open and stuff, but I'm not a huge fan of driving with them open. Some people are. Oh yeah, these do have a lumbar support as well, which is an important feature with the cloth seats on 4Runners. You don't see that really in SR5s, but you see it in the sports. Back seat's pretty clean. A couple little things on it, but for the year and 133,000 miles, pretty decent condition. So you can probably see in the photos, this does have the cargo cover. This also has the, put the cargo cover in here quick, see if I can do it one-handed. It's pretty easy. Can do like that. And it's kind of nice, you can put stuff underneath there. For instance, we went go-karting when I drove this one. I threw the helmets underneath there, set this on top of them. Helmets didn't roll around. Pretty sweet. So, a couple places to look for rust on 4Runners. On the tailgate here. Take a look here. Don't really see any on the door bottoms, jams. This one has like a little bit of black paint on it or something, so might have got a small amount starting there, but usually we'll kind of look down in that corner too, and along here. So even like these are usually pretty rusty on these, and this one looks like it's pretty clean along with all those bolts. Those are usually rusty too. So 4Runners have this auto close feature, so you just shut the gate and then it pulls it, so you don't have to slam the gate or anything, which is kind of nice. It does have the trailer hitch, and it does have the 7-pin connector there as well. Again, door bottom's pretty clean. Door panels, there's a couple scratches on this one, but overall pretty good. I think there's a little bit on that driver's too, right there. So, 15-year-old vehicle, 130,000 miles on it. So, not perfect, but pristine for. Again, you always want to look at the dashes. They do make a cap for them if they are cracked, but another $250 expense. Headlights for a 4Runner are relatively clear. It's got some pretty bright fog lights. I barely use the brights in the dark on the way back from where I went up north. Pop the hood and take a look at the engine bay. You may have already heard it, but my phone does pick up the small valve train noises, and so it might sound like it's ticking or clattering or something. Part of that's probably the AC compressor kicking on. Part of it's the injectors, and part of it is the valve train of the engine, like the valves and lifters and everything. So this one doesn't have any manifold leaks or any cracks or anything like that, so it is pretty clean under here too. Usually you get a lot of rust like on the fender walls. There's like a tiny bit by that hole there. Usually like these are all rusted up as well, the bolts and the dipstick. I always look over here, pretty telltale sign. I could open the hood of the 4Runner and look at that and tell you probably how much rust is going to be on the underside. Usually those things are super rusty, whatever that mount is. I think it's like something with the intake manifold. But yeah, here there's like a little bit of surface, but master cylinder looks like almost brand new, so pretty clean. Pretty clean. I forgot to look where this one came from, but see like you look at like bolts like there, here, under the hood. Pretty nice truck. impressed. That's kind of why I might have fell in love with it a little bit. So take a look in here. Someone did undercoat this before we got it. And you can see like the leveling kit in there too. The lift is done well. You can't even tell that it's lifted really. Driving it, you don't get any sway or anything like that. So pretty well done. And the frame has been undercoated as well, or painted or something. It's pretty smooth. You can see like a little crusty there, but that smoothness and the condition of like the exhaust and these support beams here, I mean, it's pretty clean underneath that undercoating. So we personally don't undercoat anything. We like to show them bare. So, but this one, you know, everywhere looks pretty smooth. Even like the rear differential, axle, looks pretty smooth, pretty clean. You can usually tell by looking at this wheel too how corroded it is. So, pretty common on 4Runners. Someone replaced the exhaust. Kind of a cool stainless tip on it. It's factory exhaust, so it's not loud or anything. But you can see the new muffler in there. Usually they rust somewhere in here and get like a little pinhole. Then you might as well just replace the rest of the system. So. Pretty nice. This one looks like it has XRES suspension, XRES, whatever they call it. It's part of the sport package as well. Some limiteds come with it as well. Again, pretty clean underneath. If you look at how smooth this crossmember is, not hard to see, but yeah, the frame rails are smooth. You wouldn't get that if it was real rusty. It would be all dimpled. So. Look in here, same thing, pretty smooth frame. Kind of another telltale sign is when you look under here, there's no signs of massive rust, just a little flaking, which is pretty common on 4Runners. So, anyways, if you have any more questions about it, you can certainly give us a call, 952-540-9000. You can view more photos or check this Carfax out online. 411carline.com. Thanks again for your time and enjoy your day.